Welcome to the Returning Raven, Clarity Points for Truth. I'm your host, Dr. Alana Arguello. In the Look Closer series, video 2, we looked closer at how yoga is a method to find a place among the gods. Let's continue looking closer into this area of yoga, and let's also give you a preview of things to come regarding history, archaeology, and witches. Forms of meditation for Buddhists, Hindus, and Jains share in the concept of cessation. Please go back to episode 9 and look closer video number 3 for more information on cessation to understand it. But here, for now, just know that cessation would be the foundation of what would come to be understood as contemplation meditation. Interestingly, though, yoga's earliest forms focused on divination practices and physical forms of yoga, forms of what you know as tantric and hatha, which is what you see in gym yoga or studio yoga. Mental processes would naturally be a part of these forms. However, the focus was on the physical. After migration and assimilation of various groups, the mental processes, or Raja yoga, meditation forms, would come to be preferred and dominate. Meditation type of yoga would gain superiority over the physical practices at around 350 AD. However, the reality is that ancient texts included operative practices of magic, tantric yoga, and supermen swindlers, and predatory witches, alongside and even intrinsic to meditation. For centuries, though, Raja, contemplation meditation, was expressed as the supreme way, with the almost covering up of its more physical and uncivilized practices. We will talk more about those later, but they were and are uncivilized, grotesque types of yoga practice, and they greatly impact culture. We will talk more about those later, but they are uncivilized, grotesque types of yoga practice. They are still practiced today, and the philosophies of those practices have greatly impacted our culture today. Even on those that are not practicing the practices, the philosophy is still affecting us. So we will face the gross, but later. Even though it was glossed over for some time by the priest of yoga, the essential link would be exposed in the West by the middle of the 20th century. The way of the earliest yogis were seekers of divine powers of witchcraft. In fact, they were called sorcerers. That's right. Yogis were always called sorcerers. And they historically even tried to make themselves omnipresent. In collaboration with these was the practice of ascent and descent to prepare your place in heaven and enhance powers of perception. The mode of spiritual and supernatural yoga has existed since the Vedas and continues today. So through your own sanctification and transformation process, you prepare a place for yourself in heaven. Two things are interesting here. 1, yoga existed before Christ, during Christ, and after Christ in the biblical regions. We will dig more into this later. And 2, Jesus made clear that he alone would prepare a place for us in heaven. Since yoga replaces Jesus with yourself to make your place in heaven, this means then that you can get yourself to heaven without the need for a savior. In the devilish details of yoga, again, we see a rejection of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And it looks like our good God, who knows all, let the people know back then what they needed to know to counter the pagan philosophy of ascent-descent yoga. And because yoga still exists today, we too need to know that we can't prepare a place in heaven for ourselves, that he is the only one that can offer it and prepare it. To God be the glory alone. I'm Dr. Alana Arguello with the Returning Raven. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you at the next clarity point. Until then, church, get the pagan worship out and worship in truth.